All right, so I want to talk a little bit now about ritual. What is it? Why is it important? But before I do, has anyone here ever been in a mood? Anyone here ever have a mood? Anyone here ever been in a bad mood, a grumpy mood, a happy mood? Okay. What kind of moods take place? What kind of moods happen? What happens in a mood? How many people here have ever been in a pretty good mood until someone cuts them off on the road? Do they have road rage in Japan? They have road rage in Japan?
Road rage.
Yeah.
What is it?
You get angry on driving? Yeah? Wow. Okay. Okay, so what happens? Someone cuts you off on the road. Do you leave it there? Does it stop there?
No.
What happens?
You keep going over your mind.
That's right. You go over your mind. Think of the last person who fucked you over. Then think about how someone in 5th grade fucked you up, and then pretty soon you fucking hate the world. Right? You ever get up in the morning in a good mood?
Yes.
What happens when you're in a good mood? What do you do? What do you do when you're in a good mood? Get an erection. You have an erection?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to share your mood. Not quite what I had in mind. Okay, so that's what gets it going in a small way. But then big jokes, Jesus Christ. But then, not to pursue that line of thought, then what happens? Then you start doing things in your mind. You think about how other things in your life are going well. Pretty soon, you're sending your mind in a certain direction, are you not?
Yes.
Okay.
It gets triggered first by one of them, good or bad.
Right. But then you have to do something to... what you do is you organize your perceptions inside and out in a way that gets you moving in a certain direction. Sometimes some of you will put on some music. You ever put on music to make yourself feel better? Yeah? Or dance around or do something gay like that? Come on. Okay, what is the purpose of a ritual? The purpose of rituals is to organize the inside and the outside to make sure that you get things going and stay going in a certain direction. The purpose of a ritual is to organize things on the inside and the outside and make sure you get everything aligned so it goes in the direction you want it to go. If I give you the world's most powerful magnifying glass, you better make sure it's pointed in the right way, correct? Or you could burn a hole in the wall, or you could look at something up close that you couldn't see before, depending on what you do with it. So there's certain elements to ritual. I want to teach you just some of the basic elements of ritual, okay? We've already been going through one of them, which is statement of intent. You want to formulate your statement of intent. Why? Let's say it is my statement of intent to make Mary Jo Big Tits fall madly in love with me next time she sees me. All right? That's your statement of intent. Right? Now, do you want to create in the ritual? Do you want to do a ritual where you create a lot of angry warrior energy? Would that work?
No.
Your statement of intent is going to tell you how to organize the rest of your ritual, what you need to leave in, what you need to make sure you keep out. Does that make sense? Because if you're going to head in a certain direction, you want to make sure that certain things are not there. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So the first step in doing a ritual is to formulate your statement of intent. What is it that you want to achieve? Does this make sense?
Yes.
Are you following?
Yes, I'm just interested in the way you spell ritual.
R-I-T-U-A-L. That's an R.
I see a T.
That's an R.
Oh, no, it's you.
Habitual. You're a pervert, I like it.
It's okay. I'm sure it was uncomfortable.
Well, you know, got to keep it in the gutter, or it would be Ross Jeffrey's brand, would it? Like, if I don't keep it in the gutter, it's not really Ross Jeffrey's, is it? Okay. So you want to create your statement of intent. What is your statement of intent? Statement of intents usually start off with, it is my will, or this my will, or it is my will too. Now, what do I mean by will? By will, I simply mean focused intent. Your focused intent. By will, I don't mean willpower. Willpower implies a struggle. Do you need willpower to eat? Do you need willpower to eat chocolate ice cream with whipped cream on top? Do you need willpower to eat that? Do you need willpower to get a boner when a beautiful lap dancer rubs your schwanz and shakes her big ones in your face? Do you need willpower to get a boner? No. Okay. Willpower implies a fight against something. That's not what we mean. Will is focused intent. You're taking the single pointed focus of your intent. It's like the difference between a diffused white light and a laser that's so coherent and so focused it can bounce off the moon. Do we understand each other? Yes. So statement of intent. And this ties in. Do we have a different color than blue? Can you toss that to me, buddy? This ties in with one of the major elements of magic. There are 3 major elements of magic. And one of these is will. Will. I had a teacher who taught me some things and then did some bad things, so I got rid of him. But one thing, someone used to ask him all the time in every seminar, can you make people do things against their will? And the answer is, well, no, you can't, but most people have no will. Most people have a stream of different wishes that flit through their mind, depending on the mood of the moment. But very few people have any will anyway. That's why when you do meet someone who has a focused, congruent intent, they're powerful, and you put your attention on them. Gentlemen, if you want to be more attracted to women, learn to develop your will, not your willpower. Because someone with a focused intent and a passion for life is attractive. They also tend to be narcissistic. So if you can avoid the narcissism and actually pay attention to who she is, if you can combine, on the one hand, being a person with focused, strong intent and a passion for your life, and also someone who really, truly, deeply listens to her and helps her achieve her dreams, if those things were to ever come together and a woman could find them in one place, let me tell you. What? Narcissist is someone who's only totally focused on themselves with no regard for others. Okay. Does this make sense? So, statement of intent ties in with what your will. Therefore, it is my will. Not willpower. Willpower is junk. I tried to use my willpower to stop smoking, but I couldn't do it. Right? Forget about willpower. Although in this country, what are we taught? We're taught the most important thing to success is what? Willpower. We're taught junk in this country.
Yeah, at first you don't succeed. Try again.
Yeah, try harder. Tense those muscles up. Why believe in being flexible and persistent? And agile and persistent. Okay, so you've got to formulate their statement of intent. Does that make sense? The second element of ritual is what we call banishment. I'm going to explain what that means in a moment. Banishment. Actually, let's not make that the second. I'm going to jerk you around a little. Let's make the second energized with breath. In any ritual, I think, that works, you have to energize your body with breathing. Somehow the energy of breathing involves your body in the process. Using your body is part of what makes it work. So energize yourself with breath. We're going to show you some of that. Third thing is you need to banish. And banish simply means clearing a space for working. Clear a space for working. When you clear a space for working, what you're essentially doing is setting up an anchor in your physical environment that says, in this space, in this place, only what I bring forward with my will and my energy and my imagination and intent is going to be what's created. Anything that doesn't contribute to that, you're out of here. You understand? So what you do when you banish, we're going to show you some simple ways to do that, is to clear a space, a ritual space for working in which your will, your intent, your energy are what matters and nothing else matters. And anything that doesn't contribute has to go, has to leave, has to get out of there. Does that make sense? So banishment. You want to alter your state. As part of this, you want to create a state of mind where you believe anything can be possible. Anything can be possible. Alter, A-L-T-E-R, or alter. I'm playing a little pun there. Alter your state. Create a state of mind where you believe anything can be possible. Why would that be useful? Yes, Gino.
Don't sabotage yourself.
Yeah, so you don't sabotage yourself. Also, if you're creating a place where you believe anything can be possible, where are you not looking? Right, you're not looking into your past.
There's no limits.
There's no limits, exactly. Yes, for those of you who have a scientific, perspective on things, I tend to think of this place as the quantum soup. It's the place where every possible universe that could manifest is equally ready to manifest. The only difference is, as to which one actually becomes real is what my will selects. Is that a little delusional? Maybe, but since it only takes place in a little circle, it's okay. If you're going to have delusions, make them useful and confine them to a physical space. So, otherwise, you will be confined. How to building a better psychotic. Available from Rosscore. Alter your state. All right. Step 5 is use symbology, which we will get to. Use symbology. The branch of magic that I enjoy, chaos magic, encourages you not to use traditional symbology. traditional symbology has very little meaning to the modern mind. For example, back in the days when everyone carried a dagger had a lot of meaning. Nowadays, you're more likely to find people carrying Walkmans and MP3 players than daggers. Is that correct? Yes? Back in the good old days, crystal balls had a lot of meaning. Nowadays, more people have seen television sets than they have crystal balls. Correct? I had a student who had a terrible shyness problem with women, so we invoked a god. We didn't invoke Zeus or Thor or Jesus. We invoked Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon skunk, who is a magnificent lover. I think I may have to do a Pepe Le Pew ritual with one of you. Who's a little bit shy with women still? Come on. You? Yes? Yeah. You? Mr. Riderman, yeah. What's your name? Are you a little shy with women? Yeah? Okay. We're going to invoke Pepe. I'm going to do an invocation of the god Pepe Le Pew. Do you have any religious objections to that? What? Do you know who Pepe Le Pew is?
Yeah.
Who's Pepe Le Pew? Tell me. And how does he talk? Well, let's hear it. Like what? I am Pepe. Please, darling, Cherie, why are you resisting me? I had this student imagine a big fluffy tail growing. He had fun. He went out and talked to tons of women. All right, so you want to come up with symbology that means something for you. And finally what you want to do is you want to close the ritual. Close. Let it go. Rebanish. Here's the thing you don't want to do. Anyone here ever bake a cake or bake something in the oven? I don't care. What happens if you keep checking the oven to see if it's ready? Huh?
Depends on the cake.
It fucks it up. What you want to be able to do is close the doors of your attention once you're done. Once you're done, and you stop thinking about it. You give it time to manifest. This make sense?
Yes.
Okay. How much time what? That's why you should keep a diary. Keep a magical diary. Do your little thing and, every day check in, see what's going on, and see if you've gotten the result.
Does it matter if you think about it voluntarily?
Banish it from your mind. If you start thinking about it, push it away. Do something. Jump up and down. Cut a fart. Go watch TV. Do anything to get it out of your mind. You want to repress it once you've done it. Yes.
How much different is that from Silva programming?
How much is what different?
These steps. It seems a lot like programming.
So what do you think Silva got it? From ritual magic, yeah. It's all the same thing, just different names. All right. So here's what I want you guys to do. Now, we're just going to do a little short one, and then we're going to do something else. How many people here have an area of their life where they're fearful, where they experience fear or anxiety? Come on, raise your hand. All right. Someone come up here. You. Yes, you. Yes, you. Come up here. I'm going to show you a really cool little fast thing. Okay, what was your name?
Right.
Are you sure? Okay. Are you nervous up here? No. You will be. Okay. So you have this area in your life where you experience fear, anxiety. What is it? What's the situation? Talking to women. Why am I not surprised? Okay. All right. Cool. Fair enough, right? I want you to pay attention. When you get that feeling, can you imagine talking to a beautiful girl right now? And get some of that feeling of anxiety. Where physically do you feel it in your body?
My chest.
Show me with your hands. And then what happens in your chest? What do you feel? A tightness, a warmth?
Yeah, tight, kind of warm.
And then where does it go?
Goes up in my face.
Goes up into your face. Okay. And this is what you call this fear, right? Okay. In fact, if women get in your face or something, what happens? If a woman got angry and called you a jerk, what would happen?
I wouldn't be able to talk now.
Yeah, I know. Okay. This has to do with compression and decompression of energy. Let me explain something. We all have an energy field around us. And when we feel we're at cause, our energy field is expanded. When we feel we're at the effect of someone else, our energy like caves in. You guys who've been using speed seduction, you ever been going along and feeling regret, all of a sudden a woman does something completely unplanned and unexpected that you're not prepared for? What happens? Right? Don't you feel like, I know you don't, but you understand what I'm talking about? You have to learn to push your energy out. So we're going to show you some things, okay? It's not going to make logical sense, but it will work. Fair enough? Okay, now, here's something I want every person in this room to understand. There's virtually no difference between the physiology of excited anticipation and fear. They feel the same. Is there some activity you really enjoy doing?
Yeah.
What do you like?
Skateboarding.
Okay. You ever look down at what's your favorite place to skateboard?
It's a little parking lot by where I live.
And is it flat or does it have some?
Flat. It's like the parking strips, in the front of the parking spaces.
And just before you step on that skateboard, what's the feeling you get in your body?
Yeah, I feel it in my chest kind of warm.
Feeling your chest kind of warm, then where does it go?
It moves up.
Moves up. It's the same physiology. The physiology between fear and excitement is identical. The only difference that determines what emotion you're going to experience is the linguistic label you glue on it. So he glues excitement onto skateboarding, right? Right?
Right.
But you glue fear, the fear label, into the physiology he has around women. But it's the same physiology. So what determines the difference? The linguistic label he glues on. Is that correct? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And in fact, when you glue the label, I want you to think of skateboarding. Put one hand out flat. And here put the label fear. Put this hand out flat. Here put the label excitement. Okay? So this is excitement, right? So think of skateboarding and glue that label right there. What feeling do you get about skateboarding?
It's nice and warm.
Nice, warm excitement, right? Okay. Now, okay, I want you to think about talking to a woman, a real beautiful woman, someone you'd really like to get with. Take this label fear and glue it on there. And what experience do you get?
It's pretty much the same.
But emotionally, what is it?
It's fear.
Fear, right, okay. Now watch this. Are you ready? Okay? Think about meeting that beautiful woman. Now, how do you label it? Kind of puzzled. How do you label it?
Kind of calm.
Kind of calm. Isn't that weird? How could that be possible? I'm just moving his hands around. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. I want each one of you to think about something where you're really... You ever have that sense of excited anticipation? I don't care what it is. You ever have it like your friends are coming over, you're going to go do something fun, and the doorbell rings, ding dong, and it's your friends? I want everyone to think of some area of excited anticipation, some experience you've had where you've had excited anticipation. You get it? That you can use that. What I want you to do, you can go back to your seat. I'll work with you in a second. Is come up with some word, make up a word that represents that state of excited anticipation. But the word can't be a real word. So you can't use enthusiasm or joy. You have to make up a completely new word. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm asking you to do? Step one, think of some area or experience in your life where you have that excited anticipation. Step two, make up a word or allow a word to come to your mind that represents that state. Do you understand? Make it up. You could call it frizzle-deesiac, or funk-funkadonk-donk, or scampity-bonk-bonk-boo. Make up a word and write it down. Look at the word and really resonate it. Make sure it gives you that feeling of excited anticipation. If it doesn't, change it. One thing you can do to make up a word is, if you look up here for a second, is write down the word excitement. Look what I'm going to do. Cross out all the letters that repeat. So now you have E-X-C-I-T-M. You can change it around. So you can have M-E-X, Mextic. You could have six met. That's one way to do it, or just make one up from your imagination. But when you've got your word, look up here. Have you got your word? If you got it, then come back up here. Okay. Okay. You got your word? All right. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand up. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is you're going to do this. You're going to think of that situation where you really feel compressed in, where someone's really got you and you got fear. What you're going to do is crouch a little bit and push out the fear and go, whoa! Make the noise. Go, whoa! Then I want you to vibrate your word out loud, whatever your word is.
Mexican.
All right, close your eyes and say it to yourself. I imagine there's a bird of fire coming down to the top of your head, filling your whole body. Like my word, I'll give you an example here. My word is aphrodisiac. It means nothing. It's a word I made up. So if I feel myself starting to get compressed, I go, is aphrodisiac. And I imagine that bird of fire coming down to the center of my head. Do you understand? Okay, so do it again. So think of that situation where you would normally feel fearful. Imagine pushing it away from you. Make that like...
Mexitakan.
Good. You vibrate it. Then imagine that bird of fire coming down to the center of your head, filling your whole body. And now think of being fearful in that situation and tell me what happens.
It's just not there.
It's just not there. It's just not there. So when you're in those situations where you feel that something's compressing you, just vibrate your word out loud if necessary. And then imagine that bird of fire coming down to the center of your head and filling you with energy. This is a way of getting rid of fear and pushing your energy back out when it's been compressed. Because a lot of things that happen have to do, I'm going to say it again. When you feel that you're at the effect of someone or something else, your energy will compress, and none of your technical skills will work. When you feel you're at cause, then your energy will expand. The converse is true. When you expand your energy, no matter what's going on, you will feel like you were at cause. Does that make sense? So we're going to go through it again. So here's what I want you to do. So think of that situation or something that makes you feel compressed and fearful. Kind of cave in a little bit, bend your knees, go, vibrate your word. Imagine that bird of fire coming down through the center of your forehead, center of your head, filling your body with its energy. And now how do you feel about that person in that situation?
It's feel like sort of like they're below me a little.
They're below you a little? Yeah, maybe they will. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to all do this as a group. So everyone find a spot. Go ahead, find a spot. This is a ritual. How is it a ritual? I'll show you how this is a ritual. Number one, we're using sound. We're using symbology, the bird of fire. We're using a sigil, a word that we create. We're using posture and body movement. Okay, so here's the first step. So y'all got your words? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to think of that situation that kind of compresses you a little bit. Okay, kind of bend in a little bit. Then go. Now vibrate your word. Now imagine that bird of fire coming down to the center of your head, moving all through your body. Now look at that situation that would have kept you off balance or frightened you. How does it seem? Huh? Does it seem different? Does it? Do it again. Do it again. Vibrate your word. Imagine that bird of fire coming down to the center of your head, filling your body with its power. Now imagine your energy expanding outward towards that problem or opponent. Now how do you feel about that situation? Does it feel different? Yes? Now, congratulations, you've just done a magic ritual. Here are the elements. The first is identifying what you want to do. What's the problem? Okay? You want to go from fear to power. You want to go from feeling compressed to expanding outward. Okay? You created a word, a magic word. Open sesame, abracadabra. Words are symbols designed to move energy, imagination, and intent. So you came up with a word, correct? That had meaning for you. You created a word. Okay? The next thing you did is you used your posture, like the magician going to move the energy out. And you made a sound representing moving the energy away. You vibrated your word of power, and then you used symbology, the symbol of a phoenix, a bird of fire, using its energy to fill you. Now, you may want to experiment with this and come up with a different symbol to fill you. I happen to like that one because the phoenix is like a symbol of resurrection and rebirth. For whom did this make some difference when you did it? Did you actually feel different about that situation?
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Who did it make no difference for? Good. So the thing is to practice this. I found I came up with this because there were some situations, even I, with speech seduction, where a woman would do something that would totally throw me. And then it would be the next day when I would think of what to do. I'm going, that's not good. You're the guy who created it. Fix it. Okay? So now I just internally just do this. If I feel my energy being compressed, I'm aware of that feeling. I just push it out. The other learning here is that what you experience is a combination between your body energy and the label you glue to it. Do you understand? If you want change, change both. Change the label and change the body energy. Does that make sense? Simply change. If you just change the label, try it again, but this time keep your energy compressed. Don't push anything out. Just stay compressed in and vibrate your word. Does it work? No. You want to expand outward.
So you can do it right in the presence of whatever.
I will. Someone's not going to know. I'll just do this. If I have to, I'll just bend and go. Now, they won't know what I'm doing. If they ask me, I'll go, I'm just stretching away from your bullshit. They don't know what you're doing. But here's the thing. After a while, once you've gotten used to doing this, you can shorthand it. All you have to do is like that and vibrate internally because you've anchored it in enough. But here's my point. This is a very profound point. A very profound point. Change the linguistics, but also change the energy. Both must work. Now, you also have gotten your first introduction to sigils. A A sigil is a word or an image that you form that expresses a change in your will. A sigil is a word or an image you form that expresses a change in your will or the direction you want your will to go. By creating a new word, why does it work better when you create a new word? Because a new word has no old associations attached to it. Do you understand? I'm going to say it again. Why did I have you create your own new word? Because, number one, your unconscious knows what you need and supplies it for you. But second, there's no old attachments to it. Does that make sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
So it frees you. Remember, you don't have to look back into the past because you're creating something completely new. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
If you use a word that's worked for you in the past,
Yes.
is that fine? You should use something that's completely neutral.
It's not about neutral. It's about it's about something that you created. As long as you created it and you didn't take a word out of the dictionary, right? It's a nonsense word. As long as it's a nonsense word that you made up, that's fine. You can keep it or you can change it. But my point is, don't take a real word from your actual language. If you take powerful, that has too many associations to it. Why do you think I use the word Google in speed seduction? Who's the speed seduction student? Do I ever talk about the word confidence? No. I use the word Google. Why? Because it's a made-up word where you can attach your own meanings to it and create something new without all the previous anchors and beliefs and experiences and attachments of the past. So who here is shy around women?
I'm shy. I got a question.
You're not shy. Hang on a minute. You have the shyness problem?
A little bit.
Okay, not a lot. Okay. Those of you who are shy, I want you to do that drill. Imagine approaching a woman. Imagine feeling compressed and do it. And then, you know what your homework assignment is tonight? Those of you who are shy with women, go out to City Walk and do this drill before you go out, and then do it when you're out there. And go up and talk to ladies. Okay? Can you do it? All right. Go ahead and have a seat. Yes, question.
Question. Is it normal when we do this the second time, the lights get brighter? That's as if I'm, going into LSD.
No, it's not normal. You're sick. No, but I do think this. He actually brought up a good point. He said his perceptions were different. Things seem brighter. When you strip your neurology, you're funny. When you strip your neurology free from the old associations and the old energies that were holding it back, then energy is available for clear perception. And sometimes things do seem brighter. Food tastes better.
Everything tastes better.
Yes.
There are some specific emotions that we associate by physiology, like stronger fear, where you feel your legs are completely weak.
Really? Have you ever been so excited by a person you couldn't walk? Has a woman ever gotten you so turned on your legs got weak? That physiology can be associated with more than one emotion. Yeah, I think so. Because it's basically you have two nervous systems, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Someone's reliving a happy memory? Or a future fantasy?
No, I sounded so funny.
You thought of someone he knew that made him...
No, he looks so funny.
He what?
He looks so funny.
He's funny? That's cute. I'm going to keep you guys on separate sides of the room. Oh, he looks funny in his bathrobe. Is that what you're laughing at? He's smart. He's cold, so he adopted, so I don't have to. What were we? What were you going to say? Any physio, I think, pretty much.
Parasympathetic.
Oh, there's sympathetic and parasympathetic. That's it. You're either responding or you're relaxing, basically.
Yeah, that last exercise would stop a panic attack, I think.
Oh, fuck yeah. Why, do you have them?
I had one a couple of years ago.
And this would have stopped it, huh? Yeah. I want to make the point again. I want you to write this down. When you're at cause, your energy is expanded outward. When you're at effect, your energy is contracted. that make sense? This is why to do magic, one of the hardest things in magic is to give up self-pity. You must give up self-pity. Because self-pity is the ultimate at being at effect rather than at cause. You cannot do magic and be in self-pity. Yes, sir.
How much of this, why does it work? Because to me it seems a lot like NLP just done more symbolically.
You're correct. I believe the line between NLP and magic is very close, and Bandler intended it that way. I think Bandler intended a lot of what he does to trick people into learning ritual magic without them knowing that. In fact, I more than think that. I know that because I cornered Richard over lunch and asked him, and he admitted that that was true. The only difference between hypnosis and NLP and ritual magic is ritual magic gets its anchors from symbols that hypnosis and NLP normally don't draw upon. Does that make sense?
I guess another thing is that magic has a kind of a negative anchor to it.
Not to me.
Because my opinion, I was raised as a Catholic. So you start thinking...
Well, if we want to market the Catholics, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. Magic has a negative implication to Catholics. Aren't those the people who believe that wafer transubstantiates into the body of a dead guy who raised from the dead? Right. They're the ones who believe that the wine turns into actual blood. That's not magic.
I know they use magic rituals.
Yeah.
But let's say I'm explaining this to somebody.
Yeah.
They're always going to come up with something like, oh, that's satanic worship kind of crap.
You go, really? Satanic? That's not who he told me he was. Don't tell people what you're doing. To dare, to will, to keep silent. To dare, to will, to keep silent. Keep silent about what you're doing. Don't tell people. But it's a very brilliant question because I think NLP and hypnosis and magic, the only difference is magic draws upon symbology and teaches you to create symbology. And therefore I think it's more powerful. Because I think symbols are like doorways to deeper levels of consciousness. If we essentially believe that the universe is about consciousness, then it's very important for us to be able to access levels of consciousness because that's how we access levels of the universe. That's why in certain states of consciousness you can do things that you can't in others because you're tapping in deeper or more to one side. Does that make sense? So I think NLP and hypnosis to both their benefit and their detriment are missing symbol sets, But even hypnosis uses symbols. Hypnosis uses numbers, a symbol set with which we're familiar. Right? If you said to someone who couldn't count, now I'm going to count backwards from 10 to 1, they'd be lost. So hypnosis utilizes symbol sets with which people are familiar. Correct? If you'd never seen stairs in your life, if you came from a planet with no stairs, and the hypnotist said, now, I want you to imagine you're walking down a flight of stairs. They utilize symbol sets that you're familiar with to alter your consciousness to where they want it to go. Do you understand? Magic traditional ritual magic uses symbol sets that have been passed down through the ages, like Mars, the color red, swords, or Venus, hearts, Cupid. What I want to teach you is a form of magic where you create your own symbol sets that have personal meaning for you. That's what chaos magic does. Yes, ma'am.
I would just say that a lot of people who are in trance actually create their own symbols, so I would say it's the same thing. They will very often report vivid.
Right. This is what I call meta-symbology. It's symbology about symbology. You take the subject, using symbol sets with which they are familiar, you alter your consciousness to a place where they can create their own symbols that they normally couldn't get to. But absent that trance that you lead them into, they probably never could have gotten those symbols through because their own conscious can't get through to communicate. Is that true? Yes. So hang on a minute. So in a sense, hypnosis, when it's really properly used, is meta-symbology. It's symbology about symbology. It's symbology that allows you to access a state of consciousness where you can create your own symbols, if it's done right. Yes, question.
One thing I learned from you was you mentioned something about symbols, that it's not the actual symbol, it's the attachment. You'll have an attachment to it. There's no meaning to it. It's what you attach to that symbol.
Right.
Like if you took a cross into the middle of the jungle where no one has ever seen a cross, like a tribesman or something, he's not going to know what it means. So he has an association with it. It's like any negative, what any negative.
Right. The process of gluing meaning onto something that has no meaning is a very magical act. It's as much a magical act as turning a toad into Brooke Shields. Okay? This is how we convince people to do horrible things or wonderful things. How do you convince people to march off to war and commit murder? You have them attach all sorts of meaning to a symbol that you wave in front of them. If we don't use to learn symbology to open ourselves and make ourselves more humane, then those who have an interest in using it will make us worse. This is a war between the atom bomb and Scientology. Cut that out. Yes, go ahead. Oops, sorry. Meditation for me is just another way to alter your state. Because it's not enough to have a symbol. You have to charge it with your will and your intent. It's not enough to have a symbol. You have to charge it with will and intent in an altered state. Let's take a terrible example, okay? It's not enough to have a symbol. You have to charge it with will and intent in an altered state. I can flip through a zillion symbols, but they're not going to have any meaning. So how do we charge a symbol with will and intent in an altered state? Let's take a terrible example of a horrible man, Adolf Hitler. How did Hitler get the German people to recognize the swastika? What did he do? Did he just go, hi, here's the swastika? What did he do?
Put it over his head. Yeah. Didn't you get together like these
huge rallies? He got people together in huge torchlight rallies where they lost their individuality. They were all marching in step. They were all chanting. They were all focused on him as the object of their intent. They're idolizing their will, their energy. And he paired it with this symbol, the swastika. He had them marching in torchlight rallies, forming the sign of the swastika. Like people do in football games, they hold up cards to form raiders. Well, this was a lot worse. You understand? He charged up that symbol with meaning, and he hypnotized the nation with that symbol. By the way, the swastika itself is not an evil symbol. When it goes the other way, it's an ancient Hindu symbol. It's a Hindu symbol. He just turned it the other way around. The Hindu symbol goes, I think, that way. I don't know. I fucked it up. I don't know. But it's not important. Cancel that symbol out. Okay? So, in ritual, what we want to do is create a symbol and charge it with our intent and our energy and our will in an altered state. Now, meditation is a way of getting into that altered state. Because here's the way I think it works. I think the brain primarily acts as a reducing filter. The brain is a way of taking a lot of different stimulus and filtering it out so we don't go insane. So we can stay sane and conscious in this realm. What is it, the old spiritualist thing? A veil twixt us and thee, O Lord, a veil twixt us and thee, lest we should peer too closely and onto madness see. Something like that. The notion that the brain acts as a reducing valve so we don't have every bit of stimuli that's out there coming in and driving us mad. So here's the thing. To really do magic and psychic and remote influence, which we'll show you tomorrow and Sunday, you need to be able to alter your consciousness. Because your normal state of mind, if you were walking around doing this all the time, you'd be totally disorganized. You'd be mad. Have you ever seen these psychics on TV? By the way, I don't believe anyone has psychic power. I don't believe that's the way it works. No one has psychic powers. Nobody. Okay, watch. I'm going to use my power of gravity to make this fall. It is my power of gravity that will make this fall. I'm charging this pen with the power of gravity. Therefore, it fell. Now, does the pen fall because it has special gravity powers that this doesn't have? As a matter of fact, if I drop them at the same time, which will hit the ground first? Same time. I believe people can do all these things because it's the way the universe works anyway, when we can tap into it by altering our consciousness to get there. Does that make sense? I do not believe there are people who are psychics. Those people who appear to be psychics, you ever notice they're also completely disorganized? Don't they look like they're totally schizophrenic, like you wouldn't let them near your dog? I'm serious. Have you ever seen these people on Montel, like Sylvie Brown or these other people? Doesn't she look totally fucked up? Right? Like she's huffing paint. I don't know her, but I'm serious. It's too much coming in all the time. She has no ability to shut anything out. That's why these people flunk in lab tests. You can't expect them to perform under disciplined conditions. They can't even find their fucking car keys. I'm serious. It's better to take organized, intelligent, rational people and teach them how to alter their state to get to that place than to try to take a disorganized Looney Tune like that and make them perform on a consistent basis. They've got the wrong task because they're looking at the problem the wrong way. And while we're on it, furthermore, I don't believe that the model, if you read early books on psychic phenomena, like books from the 1920s when radio was first getting going, they all say sooner or later we will discover the carrier frequency that telepathy works upon. I don't think it works that way. I don't think they will ever identify the signal that telepathy works upon because I don't think it works on signals being sent. I don't think any kind of remote influence works by signals being sent. I don't buy it. I don't think that's the way it works. We'll get into how it works tomorrow. But that's not how it works. Yeah?
What's the origins of magic?
This is how humans think. Humans think in symbology.
When Bandler went back and studied magic.
Crowley. I think he studied Aleister Crowley. My influence has been these guys, Peter Carroll, Phil Farber, who I know, and Phil Hine, people like that. And I've read some Crowley. But also looking at NLP and going, wait a minute, this is all magic. I sat down with Bandler at lunch last year in Anaheim. I said, come on, Richard, there's no difference between... I said, there's very little difference between ritual magic and what you're doing with hypnosis and NLP. He went, there's no difference, Ross. He talks like an old man now. I said, you know what? Furthermore, I think that your training as a mathematician is what allowed you to come up with NLP. Kind of raised one eyebrow and looked at me. I said, because a mathematician doesn't care what you plug into the equation, what values you plug in. He only cares about the form of the equation and if the equation balances. And that's exactly what you're doing with NLP. And he kind of looks at me and says, yeah, but it's not a very practical way to think. And I said, well, no one ever accused you of being practical, Bandler. So I understand how he thinks.
He said once that somebody actually came up with NLP centuries ago, but they killed him.
No. I don't know if that's true. I think he got neurolinguistics. The first person to coin the term neurolinguistics was not Bandler. It was Korbzinski. Count Alfred Korbzinski, the creator of general semantics. He came up with it. Bandler took a lot from a lot of sources. But let's get back to this because I don't want to get sidetracked. Okay, is this making sense? So when you guys did that little thing, you did a magic ritual. You had an intent. You used your energy, your will and focus. You used symbology of a word, symbology of a bird, and you used your movement. Now, if you tried to do that exercise without moving your body, do you think it would have worked as well? No. See, that element of using body movement and posture is one of the missing elements that I've seen in how magic and psychic influence is taught. No one teaches that, but it's very important.
Why?
Because you're committing your physiology. You are in a physical body. Granted that you're in a physical body, you need to commit your physiology into your mental act.
That was the 7th step.
Yes. The 7th step. Well, it was one of the steps. Didn't I put it in there? No, I didn't. Oh, no. Posture, movement, micro-movement. That's for tomorrow. You're jumping ahead. Do not jump ahead, my son. Do not jump ahead. You must release your material attachment, you see. That's why I also recommend yoga. Get yoga. Study some yoga and get your body moving. Yes, Mr. Purvis.
I notice when I do like yogic breathing,
Yeah.
if there was a problem bother me,
Yeah.
I will release it after I'm doing that yogic breathing for a certain amount of time.
Yes.
It's like it's
Yes, it's extremely powerful. Every system, see, one of the reasons I came up with this is not just eventually so I can be teaching a room full of hot chicks. That's one reason. But the other reason is because the systems I looked at are leaving pieces out or they're adding in things that don't belong there. If you leave out the breathing, you're not going to be nearly so powerful. Any system I've looked at that really works includes breathing. One of the problems with Bandlerian NLP is it kind of tends to ignore or downplay the role of the physiology in the body. So I try to put it back. Yes?
I had a question. Just backtracking a little bit. You said that when you're the cause, you're expanding energy?
Yes.
And when you're the effect?
You're compressed. Yes.
And therefore you can never do self-pity?
You cannot do magic if you're into self-pity, because self-pity is the ultimate of being at the effect. Right? It's not fair, blah, 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 blah. When you're self-pitying, you're stepping out of your power. If I want to destroy someone, the worst curse I could put on someone is to get them to pity themselves. It is the ultimate curse. If you can get someone to... Self-pity is even worse than apathy. They're closely related as we review the tone scale.
It's like the victim mentality.
Exactly. Now, let's think about this. If the victim mentality is the very opposite of being able to do magic and make things work, let's take that premise. The victim mentality is the very opposite. I don't mean you should always be cheerful. If you undergo a frustration, yell, fuck! And get it out of your system, okay? But if it's true that the victim mentality is the magic stopper, the thing that will make all the magic drain right out of you, then do you think it's just a coincidence that in this culture, in our country, in the U.S. of A., people are encouraged to believe they're victims? Think about the victim culture in this country. Well, you owe me a living because I'm a Siamese twin, lesbian, vampire, disabled dwarf. Think about it. In this country now, people are taught to brag about how disadvantaged they are. You obtain merit by how bad a victim you've been. I've actually seen, I'll never forget this. I was at UCLA, and pardon me, I don't mean to offend anyone, but the Hispanics and the black students were arguing over who should get the government grant. And they were arguing over who's been more oppressed and who's suffered more. And I'm going, this is insane. I said, and I stepped in the middle, I said, where did you guys become convinced that learning is a scarce resource that you can only get from a government-funded institution? What are you learning right now about the way you communicate with each other? And, of course, they all turned on me, and I got the fuck out of there. But the point of the story is think about this. We are more and more encouraged to believe we're victim. Any problem in living is now medicalized as a condition that you can go to your psychiatrist for and get pills. You're not temporarily pissed off at life. You have anxiety, depression, disorder, condition 3. And your insurance company will pay for your doctor to medicate you. I'm not saying that some people don't need medication, they do. But my point is this. If the opposite of magic is to believe you're a victim, do you think it's just a coincidence that people are encouraging you to believe you're a victim?
And they do this on purpose, boss. They do this to manipulate you. They're going to make you give your power away.
Of course. Of course. I want you to be aware of how cursing is a sociological phenomenon. Because anytime someone can convince you you're a victim, they've cursed you. Because they put you into self-pity. Cursing is not the province of someone wearing a magic hat and stirring a pot filled with toads and bat's ears and snake gut.